Part of any epic adventure is the journey, and part of any journey is being ready for a fight. I'm Donald the DM, welcome to Dungeon Master Minutes. Today we're going to continue our discussion on the 5th edition character sheet, and we're going to be focused on the combat block, which is generally seen in the center of your character sheet in a grayed out square. There are several sub-boxes to this that are all relevant to how your character will act in combat. Your armor class is a reflection of how difficult it is for you to be injured. The higher the number, the more difficult it is. That can either be from heavy armor like plate mail, keeping the blows off of you, or a reflection of your mobility and dexterity, dodging the blows that would have landed. Your initiative is your general readiness for a fight. The higher that number, the more ready you are to kick over the table, sword drawn, and dive right into the brawl before it gets out of your control. Speed, for its part, is how quickly your character can move around the battlefield. Again, the higher the number, generally the better, and that's a bit dependent on how long a character's legs are and whether or not they have wings to move around the battlefield. Your hit points are a measure of how alive you are. The more hit points you have, the more alive you are. And with every blow you take, those are diminished. Hardier characters tend to stay in the fight a bit longer. When your hit points hit 0, that's when you fall to the ground unconscious and are at the mercy of your foes and your traveling companions. Once you begin bleeding out on the ground, it's time to do some death saving throws. Every round you lie there bleeding, you have to roll a dice, which will determine whether or not you bleed out on the ground or pull yourself together and shake that off and get back in the fight. Your hit dice are a reflection of how well you can heal on a long rest. Generally, hardier characters can recover quicker and heal more effectively over a good meal and a good night's rest, while other characters might have to spend a few more days back in town visiting the healer before going back out for another fight. Your weapons and your spells are your two primary offensive parts of combat. Weapons being items you wield, spells being incantations you recite. While both magic and melee certainly have their place in combat, there are times where it might be more prudent to use a dagger rather than a fireball, or a greatsword rather than an open-close spell. No matter how your character chooses to fight a fight, the better you know this information, the better you know yourself and the challenge ahead.